Hi, welcome to today's broadcast on our series Pathway to Discovering Your Purpose in Life by Jim Nelson. Today's episode is focusing on young people, teenagers, young adults alike. May I suggest that adults can also benefit from this because it has to do with building relationship between the young person, their parents, or the adult around them. This is important because over the years, I can say that a lot of young people have questions in their mind, but they never really ask that question. They can talk about everything, but that question in their mind, they somehow shy away from asking that question in some cases. So, breaking the silence is what this is about. Though you talk about other things as a young person, but you are silent about a question or questions that really bother you. So breaking the silence is the way to go. And I will give you an example. In the Holy Bible, there was a young boy by the name Samuel. If you read the book of 1 Samuel chapter 3, this guy had an opportunity and he maximized that opportunity. He had an opportunity to ask questions. He heard his name called. He wasn't sure who was calling. He went to the adult next to him in the space and he said, "Did you call me?" That is a question. That question broke the ice. That question opened up an opportunity to discuss. He did that 3 times and the adult realized there is something beyond the ordinary. He said to this young Samuel, this young boy, "If you hear your name again, you should respond, 'Speak, Lord, to thy servant hearing.'" Now, it may look so simple, but the fact that Samuel asked the adult a question gave the adult the opportunity to respond to Samuel and then gave Samuel a counsel as to what to do if he hears his name called again. You see the conversation. Simple question opened up the door. So if you're one of those young people who has questions in their mind and would not want to ask for personal reasons, it is in your best interest as a young person to ask questions. You have your mom, your dad, your guardian. You have adults, well-meaning adults who have your good interest at heart. There is no point as a young person carrying those questions in your mind, feeling stressed, frustrated, distressed, feeling like nobody listens to you, whereas you've not even asked questions yet. Ask questions. When Samuel asked questions, that gave the adult the opportunity to point him in the right direction, and that was what opened his eyes to his purpose in life. That opportunity was what made him to know that God was connecting with him, that God has a message for him. And in the course of his life, he lived on purpose, fulfilling purpose, and led his life to the full. So, today is about you, a young person, asking questions. You may be around an adult, parents who you may not really like because of some ways they relate to you, either discipline you on occasions, and as a result, you're not really happy with them. No, this is about finding your purpose. This is about finding answers to the questions you have. So put those personal feelings aside and ask questions. When you ask questions, you will receive an answer which will point you in the right direction so that you can know your purpose, live to fulfill your purpose, and be a person who we can reckon with as a young person who grew up to fulfill purpose. Take example from Samuel, whom I mentioned. Until we meet again, you learn to speak up and ask questions. God bless you. Bye.